After posting some of my videos on YouTube and people seeing how I've modified my Joe's 2006, the responses have been very positive. I had someone ask me today to do a brief video on how the lead screw followers work on my Y-axis, and so that's what I'm here to do. Okay, here you can see the left follower block on the axis. It's a little hard to see, it's kind of behind the angle iron there, but it's a piece of HDPE plastic. I used a 1/2-inch ball mill to round out a groove in the top of it that kind of surrounds the bottom half of the lead screw. You can see a steel rod and a nut going into the front of it, and that's I just tapped a hole in it and then threaded a piece of just mild steel rod and put a jam nut on there to hold it in place. You can't see the whole thing in this view. I've got a better detailed view I'll show later. Now as we pan back and I'll swing across, you can kind of see that rod extends about 3 feet. It goes over to the follower block on the other side, which looks very similar. Actually these are made out of 2 pieces of plastic. It's 3/4 inch thick, and I turned the bottom piece that rides on top of the extrusion on its side so it's a little wider. It's about 1 inch or 1.25 inches wide. It also is got a notch where it has a piece that rides down inside the slot on the 80/20. So when the carriage comes across, I'll pull back here so you can see a little bit better. The bracket that houses the lead nut will hit that block and push it, and since the rod attaches the two together, it'll pull the other one along behind it. You'll see it come into the picture here pretty soon. There it is. So that there's no more than about 2.5 feet of lead screw that's ever unsupported, no matter which direction the carriage goes. If I come back the other way, it'll catch this end and drag the other half. And again, you can see it looks a little bit longer at this angle, but there's probably about 2.5 feet of screw exposed there, and probably about the same on the other side. So it does a pretty good job of supporting it. Here's a little closer view of one of the followers, and you can see it's a little wider at the bottom here, so that it has a good base to ride on top of the extrusion. And you can also see where I've machined it so that it sits down in the groove. It's pretty much trapped between that groove and the lead screw. I mean, you can't really get it out of there, but you can see how much play the lead screw might have without it, and that's just, I guess, half the play, because it could go the other direction too without the follower. I used I think either number 8 or number 10 machine screws from underneath. I just tapped the top part and put screws in from the bottom to hold the two pieces together, and it's essentially just trapped in there. There's nothing else holding it in, trapped between the lead screw and the aluminum extrusion. On the other side, I've done something a little different. I'll swing over and show that. Okay, from this view you can see the block I just showed you, and you can also see the aluminum bracket and the dumpster lead nut. On the other follower, and I'll just push it over by hand so you can see it come into the picture. I extended the bottom so that it would go underneath the lead nut, and the lead nut wouldn't be what pushed it. It makes contact, well, it will make contact down here at the bottom, and let me move that a little bit for you, and that's what pushes it in the other direction. So I hope that's kind of solves the mystery about these for anyone who is wondering.